Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Our top story today. This might be the end of rent checks in Dubai.
We'll also be talking about COVID-19 protocols that were announced for Eid al-Adha yesterday.
A huge 28 billion dirham social support for Emiratis has been announced, and it will include a fuel subsidy.
Oh, and we'll also be going live with Manal, Rostom, the first Egyptian woman to climb the Everest. That is so impressive, and we can't wait to have her on the show. But first, Casey, let's talk about our personal achievements.
Yeah, because Manal has basically smashed it left, right, and centre in terms of what you could do. The next goal, the next goal, the next goal. She did Mount Kilimanjaro. She got to Everest, and it's been on her mind for 15 years. And it led us to think, what about us?
What about us?
What about you?
To each their own. She climbed the Everest. We've had our own personal gains and wins that we're going to celebrate.
But have we?
Yes, of course. Of course. I'm sure you have. You were on the magazine cover of Expedition.
That was cool.
Right?
What are you thinking for you?
For me, okay, I'll tell you, the day I learned to use a washing machine was the biggest achievement of my life. I'm not even kidding. I swear, I was so happy for a week. I was like, I need to celebrate this, take all my friends out for dinner and other things, but it was a big one.
What age were you?
Like 21? It was after my parents left, and I was like, I had to fend for myself. And I'm like, how do I use a washing machine? Because I didn't know where to put the detergent, the fabric softener.
Such a Dubai kid thing. Like, that is just phenomenal in my mind.
But it's so good.
So until the age of 21...
I stayed with my family, so we had someone helping us with washing clothes.
So then... You were kicked out. She wasn't really kicked out.
I wasn't kicked out.
But you went out.
I decided to leave myself. And then I got my place, and then I learned to use a washing machine, and it was just a big win for, you know, someone who just has never done anything in her house ever. But anyway, Expedition, and then you learned just recently you got your driver's license.
Yes, 32. Yeah, I know, but 32
got a car.
years old. Everyone does that like 10 years ago. So I feel like, although I feel really good about it.
We're not comparing ourselves here, Casey.
Driver's license. All my stuff feels work related.
Getting
like
a car.
If I've ever done something, getting a car. Yeah.
But it is the work related. Like, see, even for Manal Rostom, like, it's her work and passion for climbing, right?
It's not her work. What she did is incredible because she made her passion something that she does. You know what's really, here's one that actually...
But you're doing something you're passionate about. Oh.
Telling the Dubai stories. No, but I have one that's not related to work. But so when I was in school, in secondary school, we had to play sports. Like, we had to play tennis, we had to play hockey, and I was quite sporty, but it was never supernatural. And then as soon as I left school, I went to university and I did absolutely nothing for 6 years. And like, I ate all around me, and I was just so super unfit, and I just never felt like a fit person.
Yeah.
But now since I moved to Dubai, I've started going to the gym more regularly, and I'm actually proud of myself that I don't hate it.
There you go, self-discipline.
Discipline, I like
that. That is the biggest win because not everyone has it.
That feels like a small win for me.
That's a big win though, because self-discipline takes you places.
Going to the gym. Same with doing your laundry, Simran. Got clean clothes. Your parents are proud. What else did you learn when you moved out for the first time?
I learned that cup noodles are the biggest life hack in the world.
She's not wrong.
Right? Cup noodles, you're hungry, you're sick, you're dying, just go put some hot water.
What brand do you get?
I love, it starts with K.
Coco?
Coco?
Yeah, same.
It's the best, right?
I'm all about the Cocos. Reminds me of Chucky Chucky. Okay, let's jump into our top story. Guys, is this the end of rent checks in Dubai? Happy days, it's finally happened. Dubai Land Department have announced a strategic collaboration with Emirates NBD to boost UAE real estate. So by the way, this is an Emirates NBD collab, and it will basically support the rental market, which means rental check payments will soon be automated and digitized.
This is amazing and aligned with the Dubai government's vision for paperless payment ecosystems. This collaboration will benefit landlords and property management companies, and it will remove a heap of admin. It will allow tenants to avail of flexible payment plans from the landlords or property management companies.
And individual investors from overseas looking to purchase property in Dubai, they can also seamlessly open non-resident saving accounts with Emirates NBD, which will help in facilitating their purchase and managing their property and rent collection conveniently.
I'm gonna cry. This is the best news ever. I just paid my checks this weekend for to renew my contract, and I was out of checks. So it was like 6 checks. I only had 5 checks, and they had to just change the payment plan. And it was just like, it was horrible, traumatizing. But this is like amazing. This is the news we all needed.
This is the news we all needed because it's with Emirates NBD, and I'm not with Emirates NBD, so that's
make your account right now.
It is a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone towards the possible end of rent checks in Dubai. Rent checks,
time.
as we know, they basically mean paperwork for landlords and more admin for property management companies. So it's going to remove all of that. It's also basically an easier way. I know I paid with rent checks recently, and my signature was off.
That happens.
And when your signature is off, it becomes a thing, and then eventually it bounces. So then I eventually ended up paying through card anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of what we were led to do. But look, the Dubai government has a vision to go all paperless, and this is one huge step. Right now, it's just Emirates NBD and Dubai Land Department. Hopefully, we're going to see this initiative will be reacted to positively, and it'll be a way to bring it in across the country. But right now, it's just Emirates NBD.
I don't even get the point of checks. I mean, only because I don't use it that much. I only use it for rent.
Same.
But I guess if it's going, I'm not going to miss it.
Every time I go to write one, because it's so rare, I think back to I was like 14 studying business class, and I was like, okay, you need to put the line, and you need to write the words, and you need to write only, because it's the only time you're doing it. I don't remember having to use a check for anything else until 15 years ago. So every time it's like a new learning thing.
And then you can't go wrong with the number spellings. It's just a lot of words.
Direct debit is an easy way to do it. So they're digitizing it. They're making it easy for us.
Emirates NBD, we stan you. Thank you for this. I hope all other banks start this as well. But we move on to our next story. Now, COVID-19 protocols were announced for Eid al-Adha. Now, the United Arab Emirates' National Emergency and Crisis Management Authority announced the COVID-19 guidelines for Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Adha prayer, which falls on July 9th. And the authority also advised people to avoid large gatherings, handshakes, and physical personal greetings to reduce the transmission of the virus.
So this was all in a surprise special announcement yesterday. They said other protocols state that the duration of prayers and sermons cannot exceed 20 minutes, and worshippers must wear a mask at all times and maintain a physical distance of 1 meter. Worshippers are also advised to have green status on their Al-Husn apps and take a PCR test up to 72 hours if you're traveling for the Eid al-Hostilities to ensure public safety.
Now, the distribution of gifts and food between neighbors is permitted with the obligation of sterilizing them before distributing. So, of course, it's a time of celebration. We all know this. And it's just the same as before. Just make sure you take your precautions and sanitize everything. You would want to receive it sanitized, so do give it sanitized from your side.
There you go. We had a big chat about this yesterday when you left me Bruhay. Bruhay means alone in Arabic, if you want your Arabic word of the day.
You heard Bruhay?
Shahir stepped in. I know, but I was going to be Bruhay, and then Shahir did the needful. He did the needful, he did the honourable thing, and he stepped in. But we had
that chivalrous man.
That's amazing, man. But we had the chats about the need for COVID safety. Numbers are rising. I think in the last 24 hours, it was over 1,700 cases. If you have flu-like symptoms, get the test, get the PCR test, and even on day 4, get the test again, because we are seeing rising cases. I think people are more relaxed, and we're going into the busiest travel period of the year, so just take all precautions.
Exactly. You don't want to mess up your travel plans if you're traveling. And you know what? Every time we speak of COVID-19 updates, I keep, literally the day before, as a weird coincidence, I always end up witnessing people using the bathroom and not washing their hands. Why is this still a thing? Explain to me.
What?
people use the washrooms and just leave and not wash their hands. Like, I don't understand. I just don't get it.
And I'll always like be the other side for you because it's fun to do that. But I would always think like maybe they weren't using the bathroom. But if you're touching the knobs,
anything,
you need to wash your hands. I doesn't feel like we should be 2022, 2 years into a pandemic, and even saying this stuff.
Exactly. I mean, you would think that humans learn, but no.
Jump in those habits. Do you call people out when you see that?
No, I'm not going to be like, hello, wash your hands. I'm not going to do that.
Public safety messaging from Simran. Let's jump into our next story. The 28 billion dirham social support for Emiratis will include fuel support. This was a landmark announcement by His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed, who is restructuring the social support program to provide a decent life for Emirati citizens with low incomes. So this was part of a budget which has been increased from 14 billion to 28 billion dirham for low-income Emirati citizens. The new program is raising the value of annual social support from 2.7 billion to 5 billion and the allowance of low-income families from 25,000 dirham monthly, according to social economy status.
Now, His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed is introducing new benefits and allocations for housing, university education, unemployed Emirati citizens older than 45 years of age, and Emirati job seekers, according to the UAE government media office.
So there are three main social support buckets, programs if you like, for low-income earners. So there's a wife's allowance, a kids allowance and family allowances, which are all increasing. If you want that information, we have it on Lovin Dubai on the specifics. Along with that, the allowances for food are increasing, allowances for electricity and water are increasing. And finally, the allowance for fuel subsidies will now be 85% monthly from the price of petrol at 2.1 dirhams per litre. So the price of fuel subsidy is increasing.
Note, all of the measures are for Emirati households with a total household income of up to 25,000 dirhams. It's really amazing what the leadership here does for its citizens. Like, really, this is beyond commendable. Like, the number of initiatives they've rolled out and how they're just trying to make living that much easier for them. Because wherever we're from, we would want our governments doing the same for us.
Yeah, and I think it's a really tricky one for the UAE to navigate because we're a city of expats, right? Mm-hmm. So there's like 90% majority of expats, but the level of support that they're able to facilitate for citizens, whether it would probably be impossible to roll that out for everyone. So this is the line they draw. But Emirati citizens, do really get those benefits in times of, I think we're all struggling with, the fuel prices, and it's a major topic of conversation at the moment. So this social support is specifically for Emirati residents in struggling families. So this is just a government announcement for them. So
brilliant. But I mean, yeah, good time to be an Emirati, no?
Yeah, not bad. Guys, stay tuned. Very shortly, we're going to be joined by Manal, Rostom. We're talking about personal achievements. We want to know yours. What is your greatest personal achievement? And we're going to have a woman who shows us that she can smash it all. She's going to be with us very, very shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. With us today is an athlete who's been breaking one record after another, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, the Great Wall of China, and now she's added the world's highest mountain. Manal is the first Egyptian woman to climb the highest peak in the world. Welcome to the show, Manal Rostom.
Oh my God! Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We've been wanting to do this for quite some time, so I finally got myself here, so I'm very happy to be chatting with you guys. Yeah.
You. I attend a lot of sporting events.
You've also learned how to work your washing machine, which is very inspiring.
Thank you.
You're inspiring, Manal.
No, but really, it's a big deal for a girl,
Right?
Yes.
Especially when you stay with your family.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. When you're like spoiled and stuff, they do everything for us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I need to grow up with you guys.
So I see you all, I was like, Manal, Rostom, I want to say hi, but then you're always surrounded by a swarm of people who are impressed by you, motivated by you, just want tips and tricks on life. So tell us, what pushes you in the morning?
Look, I mean, you just set goals for yourself, and you don't want to let yourself down first and foremost. And then with a big following, or when you have this platform and you know that everyone is watching, you kind of don't want to let anybody down. But really, you know, especially that I have a big following of little kids. And that's where it really, really matters and makes a difference. Like I always say that on Everest, it was the messages from the little kids that really made a difference, you know? Like a 16-year-old girl or like a 12-year-old boy. It's like, please, we're like, we can't wait to see you on top. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, you shouldn't be watching. Like, wait until I actually do it or not. So, yeah, so I think you just feel accountable to yourself and to all these people. And that's the whole point of having a platform, right? I mean, you just gotta like live up to it.
But that's scary, but you wanted to climb Everest.
Yeah.
When did that dream start? Like, when was the moment? Because, like, can we actually imagine physically thinking it's possible for us to do it? So when did it start for you?
So I'm a desert girl. I grew up in Kuwait. I was born and raised in Kuwait. Like, you know, it's not a mountaineering, you know, environment whatsoever. And then I moved to Dubai about 12 years ago. And in 2007, while I was still living in Kuwait, I remember my dad was watching a very famous, like, Egyptian show one night. And I was in my room and he's like, come out, come out. There's this really cool guy talking. And it was Omar Samra, and he was like the first Egyptian guy to summit Mount Everest. And they were interviewing him, and he was so humble, and he was so nice, and he was very young. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that one day. And then my dad looks at me and says, yeah, but you're not a guy to do that.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, but where does it say that you need to be, you know, a guy to go mountain climbing? And it took me 5 years to kind of convert my dad's mentality. So from 2007 to 2012, I was just like showing him documentaries and like, see, like there are girls who climb. But unfortunately, these sports can be male dominated, or they can be perceived as male dominated, especially from an Arab girl who comes from a conservative family. Like, who's going to send their daughter off to climb for 8 or 7 days, let alone 2 months when I did Everest, right? But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. 2012, I said I'm going to Kilimanjaro. I really wanted to. And then it kind of like helped me shift their mindset from there. Yeah.
I don't understand. Wow. I mean, like, for normal people, right? People who are not as motivated, not as, you know, like have a point to prove. Like, I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could change people's perspective on that. But that'll be a thought. I'll never act on it. But you actually went ahead and acted on it. So what was that push to go like, okay, I'm going to climb the mountains?
Okay, so it's kind of funny, but you know this quote, like the mountains are calling. They kind of do, you know, like the mountains really do call you sometimes, especially Everest. Actually, I wore this jacket and I wanted to tell you live, but I found this jacket in 2019 and it had like weird coordinates. And I was like, I'm going to look these coordinates up and let's see if they're actually Everest. And it was Everest. So it just says, feel alive, climb to the top. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this jacket. I don't care how much it costs, but I just really feel like sometimes the universe just keeps giving you signs, you know? And I intentionally wore this jacket today to share this little story. It might be trivial to some, but I mean, I look for these signs in life in general. And then it started to become like, oh, Manal wants to climb Everest. And then it like would go viral across Egypt. And then people would mistake me for having done Everest because I did base camp in 2016 and 2019. And I said, you guys, I haven't done Everest yet. Like, I was so like adamant to say Everest is Everest and then base camp is base camp. You know, don't confuse the two. It's kind of offensive, actually. Yeah. And then you just like keep working on yourself. And if your dream, if you can't get it out of your head, that means that you need to go out there and do it. Really. But really, just like, you know, as a girl, when you see like a bag or, you know, a pair of shoes that you like, and then you go home and, you know, you say sometimes, oh, no, it's too expensive. But then when you go home and think about it, and then you know, it's like it's been a week and you can't stop thinking about it, you go out and buy it. You know, with dreams, it's exactly like that for me. I've been thinking about Everest for 15 years. Imagine.
Wow.
And the fact that there were no other Egyptian women who have done it, honestly, was just a huge motivation for me. I wanted to give my country that title. Why does Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, all these countries have, you know, women who've actually done it? And I was like, okay, Egypt deserves to have like a first Egyptian woman.
And you are that role model. And like you said, you were able to kind of like, people were saying when it's going to happen and you did it. And it's just amazing. So 15 years, Everest on the brain, but getting there is not easy.
I mean, look, the financial aspect of it is crazy. That was the biggest hurdle. The second hurdle was, how do you get your mind around, you know, you're going to be away from home and family for 2 months. You know, like, you know, when you go to the Maldives for like 5 days, you kind of like think, will I get bored? Like, isn't it like too long? I'm going to be away. And then you come back and you feel so disoriented, right? Like after a short break. Imagine being away for 2 months. So
who are you with, by the way? Like, how does it work?
I was completely by myself. I booked, it was like an American expedition company. And I booked it myself. It was recommended to me by Suzanne Al-Houbi, who was my mentor throughout this entire expedition. She was looking after me, giving me tips, and organized the entire trip for me.
So you were alone, without friends or anyone?
Exactly.
Wow.
See, that's the thing, and that's where your courage has to kick through. If you really want it, you're gonna have to get past all these hurdles yourself. So it was a very, very rough environment for me. You know, you're the only Arab hijabi girl during Ramadan. I celebrated Ramadan on my own, Eid on my own, and nobody kind of gets it. You know, it's like, and I'm like, Eid is like Christmas for us, you guys. Like, you know, here are some sweets. So I did I felt like I was trying to, you know, like change people's like mentality and stuff and perceptions about, you know, what we do in the Arab world.
Wow, I mean, climbing the Mount Everest, it's the scariest thing. There are avalanches. It's scary to be up there. And then you said you passed 2 dead bodies as well.
Yeah.
How was that, not experience, just that whole ordeal for you?
Look, I know many people don't think so because some people choose not to show so much emotions, or they pretend like, oh, you know, we've recovered. It only took us like about a week. I'm still recovering. It's been a month plus. I feel traumatized. Like, you know, you feel like you literally have to walk over dead bodies, and it's not like you see them from afar. No, they're like literally underneath your feet. And then all these thoughts started like hit your brain. Like, who are these people? They've had similar dreams. What was their story? You know, they shared the exact same dream, except that I actually researched who they are. So one guy summited. He was 55 years old, and he just collapsed from extreme exhaustion because he didn't, like, from a lack of oxygen. I bought extra oxygen, but the problem is it's so expensive up there. So sometimes people are like, oh, we don't need it, or we're going to be fine. I was like, my ego was dead on the mountain. Like, I had zero ego. I was like, you know what, you guys, I'm the slowest, I'm the weakest. Give me everything I need to make this trip successful. I didn't care what people thought of me. I actually shared a video of me crying that went viral all over the world. It's actually my best performing Instagram video in like my entire 7 years on Instagram.
Tears.
Drama, right? But I just wanted to show people the real aspect of the mountain. It's not just like me putting in the hard work and then just like standing on top and holding a flag. It's not about that. You know, it's like an internal struggle with yourself every single day, waking up and feeling unwelcome sometimes from the environment, because I got people who were like, you know, living in like parts in the States where it's only a mountaineering, you know, country or city or state or whatever. And then there's Manal from the desert, and they're like, so you climb? I was like, well, I'm trying, you know, like I want to. So it was very traumatizing. I'm still like healing from that, I feel. Wow. And you just gotta, there's no room for panic attacks. There's no room for your anxiety to take over. There's no room. Otherwise, they'll just turn you around.
Is there not? Because like what I've seen in Everest is that it can be busy. And this is what some people don't understand, is like there's points where you're all climbing together.
Yeah.
So what if you have that moment where you're like, I need a second? Like, I think you explained in one of your videos that you actually did have that moment when you saw those bodies.
Yeah. So basically, I panicked at 8,500 meters. It was pure anxiety. Like, you know, you get those palpitations. You feel like out of breath, even though I almost had like a full tank of oxygen, but it's all your mind.
Yeah.
And that's where I remember the quote, your anxiety is lying to you, you know, because sometimes you feel like you are in a dangerous situation or place, but the truth of the matter is that you're just panicking, you know? And that's where I had to decide, I'm going to mess this up, you know, like if I don't put myself together, I'm gonna lose my expedition. And my guide, God bless him, Anoop, he was like so firm and tough with me. He said, if you continue to act like this, I'm gonna turn you around. Because I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh my God, my oxygen's running out. He's like, your oxygen is okay. Everything is okay. You're just panicking. So I had to like, you know, adjust.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't want to ruin this. I'm 300 meters away from the summit, but I did panic. And then I kind of had a moment where I just wanted to stare at the dead body, and I'm like, okay, you cannot freeze now, because they're actually at a very, very, very narrow rocky part where you have to hold on to a rope and literally cross over, and you want to make sure that you don't hit them so that they don't, like, you don't want to hit a dead body. It's so weird. And, you know, I got really harsh comments on Instagram. I remember this girl said, and I read everything. People think that we don't, but we actually see everything. She said, your humanity died the moment you decided to step over that dead body to achieve your selfish goal. And I was like, ouch, you know, I was like, first of all, I didn't mean to like step over a dead body. Like I actually told my guide, I need a moment. And he said, we don't have time for a moment. There's a line behind you. And I made friends actually with Brazilian friends. I hope they're watching because we became friends after that. They were just like staring at me. They're like, please move, you know, like you can't just like stop because everyone is waiting for me. I just have to be like, okay.
But can I just say that what you've described is like people have these moments in life, you know, like when it's, whether it's like you're nervous for something the next day, you could be something in your relationship, you're having a panic attack. You have just described that, but you have, you know, pressure of your platform. You're 300 meters from the goal of your life that you've been thinking about for 15 years, and you had that and you overcame it. It's so inspiring.
Yeah,
very true.
So that's why I'm celebrating, you know, my like getting over my insecurities and my internal weaknesses, because I didn't know I had that. I didn't know, like, no one actually describes to you the reality of the moment. You know, everyone says, fine, it was hard. It wasn't hard. It was harsh. You know, like I always choose to say it wasn't hard. It was very, very harsh. But alhamdulillah, like God made it easy. And then, I mean, easy at the moment to just like get past. Like, I can't believe I did it. You know, like when you were saying Manal was the first Egyptian woman to climb Everest, I was like, who is that? I was like, oh my God, that's me. Okay. No, but really, like, I'm still like, it's just very surreal for me, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you did it, all of that. The one thing that's like staying with me is the fact that you saw the bodies and you were thinking about them and who were they and all of that. But did you for a second think of yourself like, oh my God, I don't want this to be my fate? Like, did you prepare for the blizzards, for the harsh conditions? Like,
look, I mean, you know, I invested in my gear so well. There's no room to like make mistakes with the gear. Like if they tell you this, you need to buy the original down suit, you know, it's for like $1,000. Don't go and buy something cheap because you want to save like extra dollars. So number one, I invested in all my gear. I had literally, you know, the top of everything. Normally, you know, like as Arabs, we're gonna be like, oh, I'm only gonna use it once. I'm just gonna go for like, you know, the fake like cheap brand. But I didn't do that.
Too.
I don't know. So that was number one. Number two, I actually physically felt very strong on summit day. I think it was the oxygen. It was just me dealing with my emotions and internal insecurities. Like I swear to you, wallahi, like even though we reached Camp 4 and it's pretty obvious that you will make it, I still had no hope to make it. I was like, no, I'm not going to let it get to my head, you know? I just kept my ego in check. I was like, because anything can happen. Like the time when I panicked at 8,500, I could have just like turned around, you know? So I had the best gloves. I was very, very worried about frost bites. So I bought extra hand warmers. Like, you know, they have this really cool thing on Everest Base Camp. They have deliveries. You get deliveries via helicopters.
Wow.
I don't ask about how much they are. So I said, okay, so I need strepsils because they made me breathe better when I'm sucking on something. And I need extra hand warmers. I need those really expensive gloves, and I need pants that just like to replace a pair that I had torn. And then they said, yeah, sure, we'll send them by helicopter. And then the helicopter comes and drops it to you. And then it's like $800. I was like, wait, what? Did I just like order something for $800? So these are the kind of things that keep coming. I don't know, like, oh my God. But you don't think about it. Khalas. You're there, you got to spend the money, you know?
Describe the moment.
Of reaching the top. Look, honestly, you know, people expect me to say, oh my God, I really felt like I was on top of the world. I was so scared. So scared. It's actually tiny. It's actually tiny. And there were a lot of people who were so chill, and they were like removing their goggles, and like I could not remove anything. Like I was telling your friend here, so the first Omani woman to summit Everest, Nadira, she messaged me before I head out to Summit Push. Like I was getting a lot of support from the mountaineering community, the Arab mountaineering community, you know. And she said, Manal, please don't forget to remove your goggles and your mask for the pictures. I was like, yeah, don't worry, of course. We have 3 phones and 3 cameras. Everything is gonna be like, I could not even do this like just for a second because
Really?
I was so scared. You can't breathe. Like
Yeah.
I could not breathe. Plus, remember you're on an edge, literally and metaphorically. You know, you're on an edge, and I'm just scared that my anxiety would kick through. There are a lot of people. I just wanted to take my photo with my flag. I actually spoke. I expected to only take photos, but because I couldn't remove, I just wanted people to hear my voice so that they can tell it's me. Because some idiots on social media, they're like, oh, but how can we tell it's actually you? And I'm
Oh
like,
my
are you guys
days.
serious? Like,
Oh,
come
of course.
on. You know?
You find them.
So I spoke in English and Arabic, and then I did something for my Surviving Hijab community because I got messages like, you know, you're taking up 1 million hijabi women up there. And I was like, I don't want to take 1 million women up there. It's like more pressure, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to stay for long. Even like there is this center point where there's like a flag and, you know, like it's just like a pole and loads of flags. People like to take a picture on it. I couldn't bother. I was like, this will probably look like the top of Everest. Yalla, let's go. I just want to leave. And then because I know you had to cross over the dead bodies again.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
my
on
God.
the same part.
True.
And I was like, I just want to come down healthy, fit, and I did. Alhamdulillah, 0 frostbites, nothing. I'm 100% healthy. You know, yeah.
Amazing gear then,
Alhamdulillah.
but amazing guide also who
Yes,
helped you all the
shout
way
out.
up there.
I love you. Yeah.
And question for you: is there a monetary thing out of climbing the Everest apart from, like, of course you get the self-satisfactory, but like, do you get any money rewards, anything for that?
I was chatting to Richard. I mean, look, my goal was to achieve this dream, you know, whether brands will say, okay, we'd love to work for her long term or like recruit me as an ambassador or influencer, whatever. This will come, inshallah, eventually. I mean, I hope, but that was not the goal of me summiting, of course, because if that's your goal, you will be smashed. Because like when you're faced with all this hardship, nothing really matters. Like you really need to be very honest with why you're doing something that is so harsh like that, you know? So no, you don't get any monetary support. I actually paid for my dad helped me pay for it. Like I said, I'm just hoping that the story. Yeah, shout out to my dad.
I mean, after so many years of not being completely against it
exactly.
and then supporting you.
I think, you know, when you stay so consistent and persistent, you know, about wanting to do one thing, they really believe that you're not just like not serious about this, you know, and especially that there were so many girls from the Arab world who were doing it. And it really broke my heart when I kept missing expedition after the other. And I kept like feeling like, oh my God, I'm missing out on life. And if another Egyptian woman had done it, I would have never forgiven myself. I know that sounds bad, but like I feel like I earned it as someone who's been climbing for the past 10 years, who's like, you know, overcome so many hurdles. I really wanted to be the one to give that to my country, you know? And if another woman had done it, well, great, but I would have felt like, oh my God, see, like I slacked for so long. You know?
But not even do it for your country, but you did it for your community. Because let's talk a little bit about Surviving Hijab. It's the Facebook group that you started. It is now a support group would you call it support group?
I mean, we support women who choose to, you know, wear the hijab, you know, to show their faith that way. But I mean, everyone is welcome. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be covered. You just have to support another woman's choice of exercising her faith this way. You know, whether it is like to wear a burkini on the beach or a bikini, we support everybody.
And it's 1 million strong.
Yeah.
Which is
on Facebook.
So like imagine how powerful that is, because we all live in, you know, certain countries, but we don't choose that. People choose to be part of your Facebook group that's women supporting women. And you did the goal that you said that you would do, and you had all those people following. How does that feel? Do you feel elated?
I mean, look, I've taken the Surviving Hijab flag up to many mountaintops, and I always say never not taking my community to greater heights. But then when I raised the Surviving Hijab flag on top of Everest, I said, you know, I took the flag up to the greatest height. Because, yeah, like nobody can ever take this away from us or from me as, you know, as a personal goal. And a goal that I wanted to set for the little girls that it doesn't matter, you know, I mean, if you choose to wear the hijab, doesn't mean that you can't be an athlete. No, you can wear the hijab, you can be an athlete, you can stand on top of the world. You know, and I really wanted to set that example specifically, you know, for the little girls, because I see the struggles they go through. Like I have a 16-year-old niece, you know, who's covered, and then like a bunch of her friends are also covered. I struggled with my hijab, like growing up, because there were no role models. Like we had nobody to look up to. I mean, I say it with a lot of pride, but my role model was Madonna. But I always thought that in order for me to like, become so good at what I do, I need to look a certain way. But that's not necessarily true. Whether you choose to hold on to your values or not, you can still make it in a very, very, very harsh world as well. So yeah, we took Survivor Hijab's flag to the greatest height. Yeah.
So well said. We're getting goosebumps.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Sorry, you're wearing a lot of crystals. So are you superstitious by any chance?
I'm not, but they just kind of like make me feel safe. Like I try to buy ones like from every country that I go to, and then they just like keep adding up. Like I don't have space to wear my watch anymore, but yeah, I just like it's become my thing, and I like it when a lot of people are also. Oh, you have one there.
Get the memo.
But you're not superstitious at all.
Not really, no. I mean, but like I believe in signs, like you know what I mean. Just like how I was seeing Everest everywhere, including this random jacket at Bershka that had the. It didn't say Everest, by the way. It just said "Feel alive."
That's crazy.
No, but like I saw it. I saw the coordinates. I was like, no, Bershka will not do that. I'm sorry if I'm mentioning like. The brand, but like it said "Feel alive, climb to the top." And then when I went into the dressing room, I actually looked it up. I was like, I'm not looking at the price, I'm just buying it.
You've had it for all those years.
2019. So 2019, I had missed out on. It's an old pair. It's an old jacket. Yeah. 2019, I had missed out on an expedition where a bunch of Arab girls were going, and honestly, like that time of my life, even though a lot of things were happening, like remember the Dream Crazier campaign that came out. You guys also covered it. And we were doing so much work with the Survive Hijab community with Facebook. I was flying to San Francisco, we met with Richard there. But like the fact that I missed out on the expedition, it was really breaking my heart. And I kept it in secret because I didn't want people to judge me. It's like, because people would be like, oh, she's so jealous. I wasn't jealous. I just felt like I was missing out on the biggest dream of my life. For what? I didn't have the money. I didn't have the courage. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't have the courage. Maybe my willpower wasn't as strong, but then the pandemic kind of like shifts things for you,
Yeah.
That's why I like, inshallah. So I believe in signs.
So do I actually. Dare we ask Manal, what is next?
Okay, that's like, people were asking this to me like, after 2 days after I came back from
someone,
Everest.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even,
of course
there needs
you
to be no
can,
answer, but
Maybe
I want to know, like,
learn how to use a washing machine.
what's going on with you?
I want to learn how to cook, actually. Maybe find a husband, get married, have kids, hopefully.
But get back into a normal life, right? Because you've just been like, this has been taking over for so long that you're just adjusting, I guess.
Look, I'm really still in recovery mode. Like, I really don't care how long it took certain people to recover from Everest. I'm just like saying it out loud. Like, I'm still recovering, healing, getting over like what happened, what I saw, how I felt. Like, I watched these videos and I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, I watch my own videos after I post them on Instagram. Like, I watch them, like, probably all these views are me. I'm just like watching, and then it's just like I keep playing it. I can't believe it. And that's kind of like for me trying to have it like inside my head. I just want to chill. I want to get back to normality. I want to get back to routine, which I'm really struggling with, by the way. That's why it took me some time to come to the studio. Like, I wanted to come when I'm like, I still feel like I'm at sea level because I've been feeling like I was up there for so long, you know? Yeah. Like every day, almost every day, and people who watch my stories will know on Instagram, like I've been going to the beach. Just like, I never used to be like this, just sitting doing nothing. And watching, the waves and listening to the sound of the ocean. And just I ride breathing oxygen. Like having paid like $9,000 for extra oxygen, a little bit less than that. But like, I really feel like we take a lot of things for granted. That I really appreciate the fact that we breathe free oxygen. Can you believe it? Yeah. These are things on my mind. So what's next? I want to get back to normal life. I want to start to work again because at the moment, like I've been out of the country for like 3 months. I don't have campaigns. I'm not working on anything. Even training people and coaching is like kind of like a bit like rough for me to get back to dealing one-on-one. So I want to get back to work. Next year, I'll start planning the rest of my 7 summits. So this I know that I want to do. Like I want to finish the remaining highest mountain on every continent. Currently, I've only done 3. So I've done the highest mountain in Europe, Africa, and Asia. I'd love to finish all 7. But I'm just saying it out loud, I need support. Like, I cannot continue to pay for this. Everest was literally finished like a big chunk of my savings, you know.
God.
So inshallah, all fingers crossed. Someone's like, oh, you know, let's support the first Egyptian woman. Inshallah.
Sponsors, women on a mission with a passion.
Collaborations, you know, it's a partnership at the end of the day. Like, what's in it for them and what's in it for me? For me, it's to achieve my lifelong dream. A lot of people are saying, you know what, you should just retire with Everest because you don't know. Because there's always a chance of trying a mountain and then, you know, not like standing on top. But then I also want to finish all the 7 summits because it's a challenge, you know, it's a goal. You know, like Everest alone wasn't just a goal, but I chose Everest because I just wanted to be the first.
When you put it out there, I have no doubt that you're going to make it happen because that is you. You're a woman on a mission. You make it happen. We appreciate so much you coming in to talk to us. It's an amazing story. It gives us all inspiration for even little things in life that we want to achieve.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. A massive thank to the first ever Egyptian lady to climb Everest, Manal Rostom. That is it. Bye.